In ancient Crete, a master craftsman and his young son were imprisoned by the king after constructing a vast and intricate labyrinth designed to contain a fearsome creature. The labyrinth's stone walls twisted endlessly, deep underground, and only the two knew its secrets. But once the work was done, the king locked them in a tall, isolated tower, fearing they might reveal its mysteries to others. Days passed in the tower, and the father stared out the small window, watching birds soar freely in the sky. Inspiration struck him as he observed their wings. He began gathering feathers that drifted through the window, driven by a newfound hope. Night after night, by the dim light of a single candle, he meticulously crafted 2 sets of wings, binding the feathers with thread and sealing them with wax. His young son watched in awe, sensing their long-awaited freedom. When the wings were ready, the father issued a stern warning: "Do not fly too low, for the sea will dampen your wings. Do not fly too high, for the sun's heat will melt the wax. Follow my path, and we will be safe." With the sun rising on the horizon, they stood on the rocky ledge of the tower, wings strapped to their backs, and took flight. The world below shrank as they soared above the glittering sea, wind rushing through the feathers. The boy was filled with exhilaration, the thrill of freedom and flight beyond anything he had imagined. The father led the way, keeping a careful distance from the sea and the sun. But the boy, caught up in the joy of the moment, began to climb higher, leaving his father's cautious path behind. The sun was bright, almost blinding, but he continued to ascend, intoxicated by the power of flight. He felt invincible, as if he could reach the very heavens. But the sun's heat began to melt the wax that held the wings together. The feathers started to loosen, drifting away one by one. The boy, too late, realized his mistake. The wings disintegrated, and he plummeted from the sky, falling towards the vast sea below. The water, which had seemed so beautiful from above, now rushed towards him, cold and unforgiving. The boy hit the surface, disappearing beneath the waves, while the remnants of his wings floated on the water. The father, helpless, watched his son fall. He flew down to the sea, but it was too late. All that remained were broken pieces of the wings, floating on the surface. The once calm sea had become a grave. The father, heart heavy with grief, eventually reached the shore. He stood alone on the desolate beach, staring out at the water where his son had fallen. The wings, now broken and abandoned, lay on the rocky beach, the waves gently washing over them. As the sun set, casting a warm yet sorrowful glow over the scene, the father mourned in silence, knowing that the sea would forever be a reminder of his son's tragic fall.